Alrighty, let me see if everything's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Let's close this guy. That's okay, that's okay. Let's see what we got here. Fine. Okay, let's get some water and get hacking slowly. Exactly. Kiems Pico. Xvid. Full HD 4K. Great quality. Good quality video. Best quality video. Alrighty. Let's start hacking. Where's my stuff? Yeah. Where's my actual... Alright, here it is. Cool. Yeah. Okay, let me just kind of perfect this stuff here. Yeah, something like that should be fine, so I can actually see the chat. That is awesome. And what else could I do? No, actually, I think I got it all out. Okay, cool. Alrighty, great. Let's kind of get started hacking. So last night we kind of forgot to run our storybook. Alrighty, cool. And let's go to our amazing editor here. So last night, basically, we were rounding up the link stuff. And we got to this point. And then we should kind of, we described the actual task in linear, what else we had to do. So let's kind of get there. Let's go to our road to MVP. And let's go to this thing that we have in progress. So those are the things we kind of have to do. All right, cool. So let's kind of put this one at the bottom of the list because this is less relevant. This is just a UI type of thing. So let's kind of first let's start somewhere, right? So first thing we want to do is kind of a little bit better validate this URL. Let me actually close our API because for now we don't really need it because we're going to be doing now a bit of UI. So let's kind of go ahead and let's go to yeah. So let's go to our utils over here where we ended up last night. And then if we go to so this is kind of how we validate the URL right now, and that's kind of not sufficient because this new URL, actually we can take a look here, doesn't really do it too well. So if we go to the actual if we go to the actual console here, right, let's kind of go over here. So if we clear it out, right, so if we say new URL, right, we can kind of see that you can say HTTP, you can say domain.com. So that fails because it's missing a protocol, right? So that's good. That's good. that's good. Good evening, Barcode. I hope you're feeling better, man. How's life? Let me see what else. So yeah, so you can see www without a protocol. So essentially, the question is, do we want users to always have to provide the protocol? Because it's kind of redundant as well, right? So let's kind of try to find some either regex or libraries. So JS regex valid URL, right? Let's try to find something meaningful, but not in a random article. Let's try to find something that has relatively solid acceptance, right? So yeah, so you can see this is still false, right? Okay, so maybe by some specific spec, right? Not providing a protocol fails, right? I'll try to just skim through it a bit. Yeah, so this one kind of does the same as the new URL, right? So that's not really much more useful than what we need. Let's kind of just for a second more try to figure it out. Okay, so yeah, so here it is, I guess, right? If we don't want to kind of if we don't want to require the protocol, and I guess we don't. I mean, we're not gonna spend more than a minute in this now. We're gonna find some regular expression, right? We can literally use this little fragment of stuff for our own validation, right? Let's find some utils that I have. I must have some utils, yeah. So let's something like this. Yeah, let's create our own thing. Let's say export const is valid URL. And then let's just turn this fella right into that. So it's gonna take a string, right? Or a value, right? Let's actually just directly put the expression here. Then let's just say return value dot match regex. Right. Let's get rid of this. Let's test it out. Okay, so we'll not return the value. We're gonna return whatever boolean or whatever. But yeah, that's good. Good. Now, okay. So let's assume that based on at least the acceptance rate there, it does work, right? Can't we do something like regex.test instead, and then the value, right? Can't we do this? Let's try that again. Yeah, that's better. That's better, right? Okay, cool. So I'm fine with this, right? I'm fine with this now. Let's just do it as a one-liner, and let's just test it once more, and then we're good. Yep. Yep. Yeah. All right. Great. So now we have that a bit better. Maybe. Good evening, German. Good to see you, man. How's life? And actually, of course, we could. Let's just. Let's just kind of do one sanity check here. Let's just say, if no value, return false. Otherwise, right, return this. Just for sanity's sake. Oh, on holiday, good. Well, what's better in life than spending my time when being on holiday with me, right? Amazing, amazing. The best thing you can do for yourself, man. I tell you, there's literally no better thing in life than being here, man. Good choice, great choice you're making there. Great choice you're making there. Yeah, exactly. Let me just now kind of so let's kind of get rid of this now. We no longer need this, and we no longer need that, right? So let's kind of, okay. So let's just see if this still kind of works in our here in our storybook, right? So we write some link, so some text. We try the link, enter a valid URL. Okay, let's try that again. Something's off. Oh, I think yeah, I think I removed a bit too much, didn't I? I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I removed an extra line. That's the problem, right? Okay, great. So let's try that again. Okay, great. Okay, good. So we're good. So that now is good. So let's kind of go over here and let's just instead of setting it to done, let's just nuke it, right? So it doesn't create noise. All right, cool. Let's continue now, nuking those things. So let's kind of do the silly one. So when I insert the link successfully, we should kind of hide this thing, right? And we will in a second. So let's kind of do the simplest ones first. So here we want to kind of pull this, and we want to set the URL. Let's see, how did we call the state? Editor link to is link input shown, right? So we want to kind of, unsuccessful one, we want to hide that, right? To false, right? So let's do the simple things, easy wins. So I do this, I insert, and it's gone, right? Okay, cool. Just give me, okay, here. Okay, fine. All right, great. So let's go back to, let me actually remove this log, convert to raw. Let me go to my story here, and let me no longer do this because it's annoying. Okay. So what else did we write last night that we have to kind of finalize here? If we go to our storybook here. So gray out the link button if there's no selection in the editor. So let's kind of do that. So there's this link button that we're gonna replace later on the icon itself, and if you don't actually have a selection, you shouldn't be able to click on it, right? So let's kind of play with that a bit. So let's take a look. How could we do that? where am I handling this? The link external, it's in block types, okay? Even though that's kind of wrong. And actually this should now be working. So if style is link, handle link icon click. Right now, what we probably want to do is we want to set this guy under we want to set this guy basically maybe disabled by default or something, and then when there's a selection, so we'll have to kind of have an effect here in this toolbar that listens to the to some state, and then if there's selection, set some state to something, right? So so let's kind of create a, actually I don't think we even need that, because the editor state, we have the editor state, right? So this get selection, right? If there's no selection, I guess it's going to be null, right? I would think so. Let's take a look, right? Or let's see what it is if there's no selection, right? Let's actually go back here, get selection. Let me actually go, I think it's this one, draft.js. No, not really, right? So yeah, so interesting. Like I wonder. What would be the proper method for that? To ask, hey, is there any selection? I mean, we could kind of, use get text or something, right? But I want to know if there's, it would be nice if there's like a native one without us doing it in a hackish way, right? Because if I remember well from before, I think that we could wear so dot get don't actually remember. Draft.js, check if there is a select. Let's kind of, it seems that I can't rely much on their documentation. We saw that last night. No, not really, not this. How would we actually do this? Let's take a look at this. Nah, none of that is really helpful. Let's see. So I mean, I guess it's easy to, so this should be like empty string or something, right? If there's no selection, I guess. Let's take a look. No, so it isn't actually. That's quite strange, huh? Okay. Helams, thank you very much for the follow. Highly appreciate it, man. All right, so their documentation is quite horrendous, honestly, and that's the only thing that's kind of concerning me since last night, especially since Barcode helped me solve something here. Let's take a look here. Maybe there's some method. Essentially, I'm trying to ask, hey, I want to see, hey, draft, is there any selection? Is there anything selected, right? And it can't be that hard. It can't be that hard, right? Barcode, are you there, maybe? JS? What? I don't actually remember. I don't remember that this method exists. Let's see what this does. Get selection to JS. I feel, nah, doesn't feel good. I feel we're gonna fail. Okay. Yeah. Jesus Christ, man, how hard it is to... I guess so. If I would write all of this stuff, that would kind of return nothing because there's nothing selected, right? I mean, if I would write a simple utility, right, somewhere, like if I would come somewhere over here and I say const is selected or something, then I return something like this. Then I neglect it twice. Then I go to yeah, right? So that kind of worked, but I don't like it, right? Because this now kind of tells me the information I wanted to know, right? Yeah, right? This in a way gives me the functionality. The question is at what expense, right? Do I really have to do all this to know if there's something selected? Yeah, I mean, editor has selection. Let's call it like that for now, because I don't know this API well enough to determine if this is kind of good or not, but it seems that I'm calling a lot of stuff here just to determine. Hello, the chosen one. Hey there, Steph. How you doing? So I don't actually know, to be very honest. I don't know, but yeah, I don't actually know, right? I don't know, but either way, we gonna yeah, okay. Let's proceed with that now. For now, that's how it is. That's how it is. All right. So now next thing that I want to do, if we go to this basically, so right now we're going to gray out the button if there's no selection. So essentially, so this button here should be kind of grayed out, whatever. And maybe we're going to need the same functionality for some other things here, right, as well. But for now, I don't want you to be able to click on this or if there's no selection, right? Okay, so let's kind of implement that now. Now we have the knowledge. Now we have the method to determine that. So let's kind of so we need an effect here. So we'll definitely need an effect. So let's say use effects. And we'll need to give it editor. Let's actually see here. It has editor has selection. Let's actually pass it the selection itself. Do it like this. Actually we need this state. All right, well, let's forget about that then. We maybe don't even need an effect actually, because we do need some state variable, right? We do, so we kind of do need it, right? And let's create a state variable here. Let's call it const No, we don't actually need a state variable at all. Let's actually now go to, let's actually nuke this. Let's go to, let's come basically somewhere over here, yeah. We want to handle this case, but what we actually want to do, where's my icon? So actually, so over here, I'm passing the props to the icon itself. And let's try one thing. Let's try here to say fill indigo, fill red 500, style is equal to link, and editor has selection, editor state, right? Something like that. And there's no selection, and there we go. So it kind of works, right? Good. That's pretty good. If I actually go up here, so this is the actual thing, okay? Let me kind of nuke this, never mind. Let me kind of nuke this base class from here, and let me just put it for the for this actual state over here. And let's get rid of this. So this is just a temporary color. Type, where is this coming from? Then here I'm gonna say gray. And I'm gonna say hover fill. I don't know if this actually exists even. Just testing stuff. Yeah, okay, so that's what I mean when I say graying it out. Now you can see you can't, it doesn't seem like an active. But if I actually do this, you can see it suddenly becomes active, right? So you have to have a selection for the link component in the toolbar to kind of be interactive, right? Now, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted, right? That's exactly what I wanted, right? And now you can actually interact with it, and then yeah, okay. All right, cool. So if we go back over here, so we kind of did that one. Now let's do the other one. So if you do have a selection, but the selection is the actually link, So if I do this and this is a link, I want this to become a remove link. I want this to become actually a different icon. I mean, just think, how do we do that? So if we go to so this is basically where we do it, right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yes. One strange thing though is that this guy didn't get pre-filled with it. Set editor link. All right, we'll get to that in a second. Let me actually do one thing while we're doing this. Let's kind of do this better. So this kind of component, let's make sure it looks good. So let's kind of style that a bit. Let's actually take that fella. Where did we kind of yeah, we did it here, right? So let's take this component, let's turn it into an actual local kind of, we're not gonna make it part of the kind of core library or anything. We're gonna make it part of this view components basically. So I'm actually gonna go to components, core, inputs, editor, and I'm gonna actually create a components local to this one. And I'm gonna create a component called insert link. Insert link. Yeah, let's call it like that. And then we're gonna get over here. Okay, I'm just auto importing stuff here. That's kind of funny actually, because it's, why is it telling me that? It's actually quite strange that what the hell is going on, man? Seriously, like, why is it auto removing it? Makes absolutely no sense. Oh, because I'm an idiot. That's why. That's why. Okay. All right. So let's kind of do that, right? Just so we can kind of localize this component to this actual, as an inner, let's call it almost like a peer dependency of this. And then over here, right, we can kind of import that. So let's call it, how do we call it? Insert link. Kind of local from this thing. And then what is that guy taking? Let's actually do it like this. Insert link. Yeah, let's do that. Is input shown? That's good. And let's give it the props that it needs. Has error, editor link error, and then those are named the same. Right, that's cool. Oh my god, the Matty himself is here. Good evening, my friend. How is everything? How is life? Good to see you again, man. Good to see you again, dude. What life is good? How is Denmark? Good, man. Good. Just just hacking away with this stuff, and not much to say, to be frank with you. We're just hacking this stuff out. But I'm super happy that you're here, man. Super happy. I'm basically now dealing with the draft.js and stuff. How is work and stuff? How is everything going? Just gonna create another story here. I'm gonna call it insert link.stories.jsx. Work is amazing. I didn't doubt, man. I didn't doubt at all. I'm basically just gonna isolate this to the storybook, right? Just so we don't have to directly work there in the editor. It's gonna save us a lot of time, right? So let's kind of nuke a lot of this stuff and pass this fella what it needs. It needs has error. For now, the first story, let's say it doesn't handle change link. Let's just give it an anonymous function now that does nothing. What else does it have? It has some other handler, right? Let's do the same. And what else? Let's kind of nuke this. And I guess we're good. Let's see. Yeah, something here is yeah, this is kind of the side effect of that's actually quite strange. Why did this happen? Let me where did I do this right? Let's see what happened here. Okay, let's kind of nuke that, right? We're good now again, and let's kind of nuke this again. Something strange happened here. I mean, this oftentimes that my tooling kind of just nukes way too much stuff, right? Way too much stuff, right? Okay, great. Okay, we're good now. Let's go to our storybook editor components. So you can kind of see, if I kind of zoom in a bit here in my storybook, you can see now here aside I have the editor itself, which is our draft.js. But then we kind of have the editor stories, but then we have subcomponents of that editor. And I think this is really good, very nice structure to have in Storybook, because those are kind of dependencies of the editor itself, right? And we have our core library, which we don't wanna couple those very specific components. Kind of those are, yeah. All right, so let's kind of now work primarily on this. So we have our insert link nicely designed and stuff, right? So now let's just create another story here. Let's call this one export const error. You know, let's call it with error, and let's just say here has error true. Actually, you can just do it here, right? Now we have the one with the error and one without the error, so we can kind of, let's see if there's any other state here. No, that's pretty much it, right? So this component can be in those two states, right? Okay, cool. So let's kind of start now designing this a bit better, right? So first and foremost, let's see, I think my button is pretty radical when it comes to styling. I'm not sure if I'll even be able to change the actual border. Let's see. So yeah, I will be able to, right? All right, so something like that, right? So it's kind of, it might work actually out. But I don't really want that, do I? So let's try something like that, right? Let's say that the gap is 1. So maybe something like that, right? And let's call this insert link. Or add link, insert link. I guess insert link would be appropriate, right? And if we kind of get, if we zoom out to the normal size, that's how would it look like. But let's just zoom to oblivion so we can style it easier. That's kind of good. Let's just try one thing. Let's try text extra small here. Not quite, right? So let's just go with this, I guess. That's fine. And then let's check the error state here. We can see kind of this margin bottom pushes the text a bit too much down. And that's because I couldn't override my actual input, right? My input when I designed it, I don't think that let me see what I do with the class name. Yeah, I can't seem to, let's actually try one thing here. Yeah, you can see that margin bottom actually didn't get applied at all, did it? Let's see, input, props. Why do I have a ternary here? That should not be necessary. Sorry, the conditional operator. Yeah, of course. It's because of this guy, right? This is what has a margin bottom, right? Yeah, so this is kind of how I designed this component initially, right? The input itself. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't have had, right? But I can see why I did it is because I have an input header for my, like, there's few components here that have to operate like this, and then I'm making sure that, yeah. I mean, okay, because I don't want to break the I don't want to change the interface or whatever, the props of this. I'm simply going to leave it as is. And then on this fella here, I'm going to just gonna say that it's relative and the top is like minus 10 px, right? Something like that. It's perfectly fine because this component is completely custom and it's not part of our core library of anything. So it's perfectly fine that we do here whatever hell we want, right? There's absolutely nothing to worry about. And actually what I'm gonna do is I will go to my inputs again and steal the actual input error. So let's just to kind of stay consistent with the components and stuff. Let's kind of get over here and say input error. So my errors are the same across all inputs, right? So we're gonna kind of actually, how did I use it here before? Let's just do it like this. And then we're gonna do this and we're gonna pass this text. Gonna be has error, and then the error is this is the string, this is the actual error itself, right? And then we can get rid of this guy. And then if we go to our story, this is how it is, right? Let's see if the input error can be overwritten at all. I'm not quite sure. Let's try to say here, as we just did, class name, make it relative, and then top, and then use the offset of minus 15 pixels. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, let's make it 20. Then if we reset this, yeah, that's okay. That's me, right? Now, if we go back actually here to the editor story, to the actual editor, let's zoom out a bit, and we try to insert a link. This is what we're gonna get, and then we enter the normal link, and then it's all good, right? Try that again. Try to enter invalid one, we get to enter a valid URL. Then we enter the valid URL and it works, right? All right, let me kind of see how this looks like let's actually log into our platform here. And let's see how it looks like there, because there's a, what the hell is, I think I zoomed out way too much. So let me kind of zoom in for you guys here. So I think there's gonna be a slight issue here. Let me see. Yeah, okay, so yeah, okay. Let's see relative to here, how does it look here? Okay, because yeah, my story here, yeah, fine, okay. Yeah, I get it, okay. But anyway, let's go to the platform itself so we can see kind of that. So the question is, where do we want to show this input? I guess it's fine if we show it here, but we'll need like padding left 4, I guess. Yeah, something like this, right? So we do this, insert. Okay, so yeah, I think that was what I wanted to fix, because I think now, let's see. Yeah, I actually know. So one thing that we have to do here is we have to say that this type of this button is just button. So it doesn't actually submit the form, right? Because I believe that's what it's doing now. Over here. Yeah, so now we're good, right? Yep. I guess that's okay. Add link, insert link. I guess it's fine. I'm just thinking how it looks like. I think it's fine actually, right? So let's see another subtask. So if the selection is already a link, show unlink button instead, right? So I guess if you select a link, or because right now what we just did, if there's no selection in the editor, then let's just use a story here and not the actual platform. So if there's no selection in the draft.js here, make the actual button non-interactive. Then if I do select it, make it interactive. Then we validated that this is in fact a valid URL. So that's all good. Now, when I select a link, I guess what we want to do is we want this to become unlinked. So let's actually go and steal some better icons. Let's kind of take some better icons for this, because let's try to search for link. But I would like actually, what would be cool that I find one with the same orientation, because you can see how this unlink and link, they're kind of have, no, actually no, they have the same orientation. This is just, okay, I guess, yeah, I like this. So let me kind of steal this one. Not steal, let me take this one. Yeah, so here's the actual SVG. So let's just grab it. So let's go to our link. Do we have like link SVG link? No. So let's kind of create it and then run our SVGR library to kind of convert it to React components. So where is it? It's, give me 1 second here. Oh, that's actually not, that looks cool. All right. I didn't even know. Okay, so let's go to images and SVG. Yeah. So let's create one here. Let's call it link.svg. Let's actually first optimize this one online, even though our SVGR should do that for us. But doesn't matter. So let's do this. Let's paste and let's copy it here. Where's my VS Code? Over here, right? Let's see if there's some hard-coded stuff that we can get rid of. Yeah, there's the class. Yeah, all right, cool. And then let's create an unlink, I guess. Unlink.svg. Let's go to SVG. Let's go over here and let's grab this guy. Edit as HTML. And let's kind of optimize this fella as well. Let's copy it. Let's go back here. Let's get rid of this redundant class. So we're good in that regard now. So let's run our build SVG icons, okay? So yarn run, build SVG icons. That's great, okay, cool. So now we've built all of our SVG icons. Let's hide that here. And let's go to editor itself. Let's go to toolbar. And yeah, we have kind of have a component called link here already, which is our actual anchor. So let's actually rename that to anchor. Let me actually go over here, and I'm actually going to rename this to anchor, because it's part of our it's part of our core library. So let's call it anchor. And let's call it anchor here as well. And let's save that. And then over here, obviously it's going to complain, which is perfectly fine. That's supposed to do that. call it anchor there, and let's go back to utils now. This should be called anchor instead. And then somewhere around here it should complain, and it does. That's good. Let's take a look if all of the stuff compiles. Let's close this one up. And now we can actually import link and unlink from our core SVG, so our own library. So let's import link from our own components, icons. Good evening, welcome again, Barcode. How are you doing, my friend? And it's gonna be a bit painful to find it here. Good, man. Just kind of hacking away at this. Yeah, I don't know what it's basically just kind of finalizing this story, and then we are gonna move on to the other one, to something else. Good, man. Not much to say, to be honest. You're gonna be good as well, man. Like, I have no doubt. You're just gonna go through that. It's a process. I know that you know. I'm not gonna try to be a smart ass or anything. There's always males and females, my friend. But I get you. It's you're a good dude, man. It's completely normal. It would not be normal if you're not sad. I mean, you're not a robot, you're not an animal, right? So how old are you? Is it a secret to tell me? How old are you? Okay, yeah. I mean, don't want to be a smartass. I can just say that I've been with my wife for 14 years almost now, and before that I kind of did a lot of stuff, and yeah, 25 is mature, right? If you were 18 or 19 or something, I wouldn't even talk to you now in that regard. I would just be silent. But I don't know, dude. If you can fix it, and if you feel it's worth, then just go for it. Otherwise, then just you know, just it's a complicated situation, you say. I mean, I'm laughing because it's so typical. It's actually funny. That's why I'm not. My programming, good, man. Like, you know, I'm a bit exhausted from work and stuff like that, right? And you know, family and everything. But good, man. I mean, you know how it is. Consistency is everything, right? So all that matters is that we make progress every day, right? So that's all that matters, right? How sometimes we do a lot, sometimes we do a little less in a stream, whatever. But as long as it's going forward and not backwards, I'm happy, right? So there's absolutely nothing you can lose when you do a project of any kind. You can only win. I mean, I already won. I met you guys, and I started the stream, and you know, so how there's no possible perspective that you can look at building something aside from your work that you lose, right? You cannot lose. You learn a lot, you meet people, you make connections, right? So it's great. I mean, I'm enjoying this. That's why I keep coming back those 2 months every night, and you guys motivate me a lot. And I've seen that I motivated a lot of you guys. A lot of people who are watching me here, they kind of started their side projects and stuff, and that's kind of you know, something that motivates me even further, because I always, when I worked as a mentor at Thinkful, right, something that I was most proud of is that I was the support to my students, because it's not that I necessarily taught them everything, because they only met me 2 or 3 hours a week in the whole week. So for 95% of their time, they were alone. But motivating people indirectly and directly and stuff, it's quite motivating for me, because you know, it's like it's a bit messed up world, right? And if you can affect people in a positive way, especially something as, you know, so they change their career, or they don't give up, you know, or encourage them not to give up and stuff. I mean, it's a great feeling, right? So overall, man, just gonna be hacking away with you guys in this for a long time, and this is gonna be a long project. Even when we release and stuff, this is gonna be a long journey. It's not gonna be a short one, I tell you for sure. It's gonna be a long journey. All right, never mind. Well, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this fella over here, so it's generated alongside other typography, I guess. Yeah, something like that, maybe. So now it's grayed out as we want. Only when I select it becomes active. That's good. Never mind. Second. Good evening, Kubila. Yes, I originate from Balkans. Yes, I come, but I live in Denmark with my wife and my kid. I live in Scandinavia for around 10 years now. All right, cool. So now we kind of have that. We improved this component a bit. We validated it properly with the regular expression. That all works. So now essentially, yeah, we said when you select a link, we want this icon to become unlink. You are definitely have a lot of Balkan, yeah. I mean, dude, like, people in the Balkans are almost identical. It doesn't matter if you're Serbian, Albanian, Macedonian, Croatian. Like, it's kind of, especially you see that when you live in the West, you kind of see how people get along. In Balkans, they often hate each other and stuff, but when they meet in the rest of the world, they can't live without each other. It's quite funny. Yeah. All right, so it's hard to, yeah. Okay, so let's kind of now. So what do we need now? So somewhere around here. Somewhere, no, not there. So let's actually. Good evening, Sako, my friend. How you doing? Good to see you again, man. So this is kind of where we figure out that. So this kind of this thing here, right, determines if we've selected the link again, right? This happens on so essentially, so this is, yeah, I did get the link working, but with the help of Barcode, one of my viewers, he kind of helped because the documentation of javascript is out of date. I mean, if he hasn't shared that little fragment, I probably would still be solving that now, because, you know, if the official documentation is broken, it's very difficult to it's very difficult to move on from. Well, I would have solved it at one point without a doubt. I would have Googled the hell out of it and stuff. But I'm somebody who rather reads the docs or the types and then solves it than Stack Overflow, right? Because this task that we're doing now with reactjs isn't something you can just copy paste, to be honest, because this is going to be one of the core kind of features of this platform for a long time. Because right now, you know, we're implementing let's say default or somehow basic functions or features into it, but I have a massive to-do list of the components that I wanted to have inside of this editor. That being said, I'm a bit slower with this as well, almost kind of intentionally, because I really need to understand every line that I do, right? So it's kind of, yeah. It was literally, I can tell you, it wasn't our fault at all, in a way. Like, we didn't do anything wrong. What the problem was, let me show you. So here in the handle confirm, this when we actually update the state with the new content, with the content that has the link now, you have to pass that same decorator that you're passing when you're creating an empty state, basically. So we missed this, right? And that fixed it, right? So there's no chance. Again, I would have probably found it eventually on Stack Overflow, but I would probably lose my mind for a couple of more hours. So again, thank you, Barcode. You helped a lot. You saved me sometimes. And Sako, ironically, right, when you actually go to, the official documentation of draft, this isn't there in their own example, right? So they also miss this. Probably some of us should go and do a PR on that documentation. You could get a free kinda PR exposure if some of you want, but for sure their documentation is missing the decorator part, right? Without a doubt, right? Maybe it's bots. Did you check where the traffic originates from? Are you sure that it isn't bots or something? I mean, it's also likely that it's just normal people, whatever, but usually spikes like that indicate some sort of strange, because it kind of doesn't feel organic, right? Doesn't feel natural that you just got that massive percentage, right? Yeah, that's insane, man. Yeah, that's I mean, my first assumption always is bots. This is 16 months. Okay. Let me just close up some stuff. All right. So what I'm gonna do now. So basically, yeah. So now, Sako, what I'm doing, just so you're basically in the loop. So now I made this link disabled. It becomes enabled once you have a selection. If you don't have a selection, you cannot click a link. Then you do this, you enter an invalid link, it gives you an error. You enter a valid one, it actually becomes a link. So now what I want to do is, like, if I select something that's already a link, I want this to become unlink. So when you click it, you basically remove the link. And we're going to do that. I think I have a solid idea now. That's why I'm saying I'm kind of getting the draft.js under my skin again a bit, I feel. All right, so what we're going to do, basically, we're gonna take this piece of code, right? So we'll actually have to take this portion of code and turn it into a utility function, because this kind of thing, you can see this checks if your selection is already a URL, if it's a link, right? So this is what we need. So what I'm actually going to do, we're going to turn this into a simple utility function. Then we're going to use it here when you initially click the link thing. But also when I'm going to show you my thought process here in a second. So let's kind of create a new utility here. Let's call it const is selection a. Let's not call it is selection a link, because that's going to imply it only returns a Boolean. Let's call it get link from selection. And then we can rethink that, it's fine. Let's give it the editor state. And then let's return something nice. So let's return an object. So let's kind of do it like this. No matter what, so let's say something is link. something like this, right? And then URL. But I don't like that, and I don't like it because if we already know it's not a link, we should just return early, right? So we can say here, if no link key, then return, but let's make sure we return the same interface, right? So we don't have to worry about the function returning two different things. So is link false, URL null, right? And then here we do this, right? So now this utility returns, I mean, technically we don't need is link, but it's useful. It's going to be useful, right? So let's kind of now first use it over here. How did we call that utility? Get link from selection, right? Editor state. And then over here we'll say, oops. Let's kind of scroll a bit down. So we'll do something like this, and we're gonna say is link, and then URL. And then we'll say, you know, if is not a link, we want to return here. Oops. Otherwise, we want to do what we've been doing already, right? Now, let me just check one thing though, because there's something off with this. Where am I calling set? Yeah, so over here. Yeah. Okay, let's kind of test that out. So if we go over here, so this is not gonna do much of it, but let's kind of just say console log is link and then URL. And basically this should be invoked now. So when I go to my editor, I type some text and yeah, because we are kind of, let's see, are we? Oh shit. I think did I put it? No, it's fine, it's okay, we're good. I guess we want to do this, right? Let me just think here for a moment. No. This is kind of... Let me just make sure that we're... I mean, I guess we want to do this, right? And now when I select this link, so now I have a link as a selection, and if I click it, we should get that link, and we do, right? You can see now. So that is the point of this thing for now, but we're gonna use this in a different place as well. That's my idea. So that kind of works. You can see now, one kind of strange thing though is that, so we do call set editor link, which means that this fella here, yeah, I get it. So we kind of forgot about that. So let's kind of go to our stories here, and we'll have to extend this component with an actual value, right? Because but that's not the behavior we want. Forget about it. That's not the behavior we want anyway. Because the thing is, right, what we could technically do here is that when you select a link already, and then click this button to kind of, that's the idea here. I click it, this input should get that value pre-filled automatically. We can do that, but that's not what we want. I think we want this, right? We want this icon to become remove link. So it's fine. It's all great. So let's go back to our utils over here, and we don't really even need this, right? I mean, so we don't want this behavior, so we can kind of, in a way, almost nuke this, and we will. I don't want this behavior here, but where I want it is that if there is a link, so if this evaluates the true, I want to have another state variable. Let's just call it local state variable. Let's create one. Let's call it const is link selected, set is link selected, right? And then what I want to do is I'm going to have some side effect, some effects. And then we're gonna, I think I'm thinking it through well. I think so, at least. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna call this fella. Now I don't wanna listen to the whole editor state. So we'll have to see what dependency to use here, because this is not gonna be sufficient. This is not gonna work yet. But I don't want to set this editor link. What I want to do here is I want to say set is link. Set is link selected to true, right? Otherwise, something like that. We'll prettify. We'll prettify for sure, but something like that. Now, so what could we use? I mean, right? Like if we pass editor state to this effect is going to run every single time. Why is it going to run every single time? Because editor state is an object, and we're going to be comparing the object references, not the actual values. I can technically say this, and this is going to rerun this effect every single time, but that kind of sucks, right? But whatever. Let's just start there. And then now, going back, now going back here though, yeah, so now we have a slight problem because this fella isn't, I mean, am I using those block types anywhere? No. So I guess what we could kind of do, well, first we don't have to export those things. Second, we could have them like here. And then for this fella here, I could use the state. So I can say, is link selected, you know, then show oops, yeah, sorry, my bad. Let's see how we want to do this in a clever way. I mean, so now we have to conditionally swap the icons, right? We're going to be showing some of the icons in this toolbar based on, yeah, something happened. Yeah, we messed something up. Let's see what. I didn't say. All right. So now we conditionally have to show this bit, right? So as we said, so if I am selecting an actual link already, this has to become a different icon. So that's what we're gonna do here now. So now we can do that in several ways. We can do it maybe there's so many ways we can do it. Let's kind of maybe do it like this for now, just so we don't spend too much time here. Let's say return is link selected. We want to say on link. And then if it's not selected, we want to do this. Then here we basically want to ask the same question: is link selected? On link. If it's not, type is link, right? Something like that, right? They're not quite working yet. Let's see, maybe I reverse the logic or something. Let's take a look at that. It's link. If link is selected, show unlink, otherwise show link. Yeah, I think that's a good expression right there. Let's see why it is not evaluating properly. So this is why, right? So for whatever reason, it's true and it shouldn't be. So let's see why is it true. Set is link selected. This is why, right? So if we do this now, we insert the link. Nah, not quite, no. Okay, no, we are actually good. But you can see that we have some state kind of issues. You can see that I actually do this, it is now turning to remove link, right? But let's actually see here. Just there's that little glitch. So is my focus now on this link? Because it seems that the link is kind of selected when I because the question is, do I lose the selection once I actually, all right, I don't know, but I know how to solve it at least. Let's go back to this confirm. Yep, and let's also say here set is link selected to false, right? So let's try that again now. So yeah, so the main reason, yeah, so actually it's maybe fine that it's like this, because once you actually insert the link, that remains a focus, right? So I guess the only way is to wait, draft.js clear focus. Is there a way to clear the focus, right? Clear selection, yeah, that's what I need, yep. No, so it doesn't seem that there was any answer to this one. But no, we don't need to clear. Okay, whatever. Let's not get lost in the details. I think it's fine, right? I think this is actually okay. It's okay that the focus remains there. So let's kind of go and clean this line up. So we don't actually need this, right? All right, cool. So now we have that, right? So we do this, we add a link, we insert it, and now once we select that same link again, we get the remove link thing, right? And we'll have to cover now that state. So here we have if style is link, handle link icon clicked. Let's kind of do another else if here. Else if style is unlink, then handle unlink, unlick, nice, unlink, beautiful. Handle unlick, great, I like that. Okay, let's handle that unlick. It's beautiful. Insert, and let's handle now the unlick. Ooh, actually that didn't quite like me unlicking it. So unlink, unink. Oh my god, it's a typo. Beautiful. So far in past 3 seconds we had unlick and unink. Great. Unlick. Man, I forgot how to spell it now. Oh, unlink. Okay. Unlick, unink, unlick. Let's add unink. So nice, so beautiful. Okay, let's add it. Let's do this, and let's unlick it. There we go. Unlick, unink. So good. Okay, so we can unlick it now, and let's create a handler for unlicking it. Handle change link, confirm link, unlink. Okay, const handle unlink. Jesus. Or let's call it handle remove link. Actually, no, let's kind of stay consistent to it. So I call this handle link icon click. Let's call this handle unlink icon click. Okay, and let's just do this again. Unlick, unink, and let's call it over here. Okay, great. And now basically here we have to remove the link. Let's go to our story here. I'm gonna go and see this example, draft.js example. Here is the remove link. So I'm just gonna steal all of this logic here. I'm gonna paste it in here. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna early return here, and then if is collapsed, whatever, return. All right, and then otherwise do this. And then we don't have the set state, we have handle jandle. Okay, handle Jandl, on editor state change. Okay. Okay, and then cool. Let's see if that actually works. So add a link, remove a link. There we go. Beautiful. You can see. So I think we covered all the edge cases. So if there's no selection, link cannot be clicked. When there's a selection, this becomes available, interactable. If we enter a wrong kind of invalid thing, it gives you that. We clear the input, we insert the link. When we lose the focus, when we select another link, we remove it. I think that's pretty much... Actually, let me just check one thing though. I just saw something. Yeah. I mean, you mean, yeah, I mean, let's actually try that. You mean if I add multiple links, right? Probably, yeah. That's a very good point, actually. I completely forgot about that, because probably now I'm gonna remove all of them, right? Exactly, that's a very good point, yeah. Shit, because I need some sort of, yeah. No, actually, it's good. I think it works. No, I think we're good, right? But dude, you scared the hell out of me with that question. And the main reason why we're actually good, and let me tell you why we're good, is because we're mainly good because of things like entity key, right? No. Dude, like, thank you so much. Absolutely great question. Great question. Because when you asked it, my mind instantly exploded. Because if this wasn't the draft.js, we would have indeed had to have some sort of ID to determine which link are you removing. You cannot just, you know, remove a link from somewhere. But we are kind of covered here because every time that we insert a new entity, it has this entity key and stuff like that. So it has, in a nutshell, a unique ID. Whew, dude. My heart stopped. I'm so sick of this task. I just want to get it done. You killed me there. It was enough to kill me with one sentence. I died multiple times. But I'm... Good evening, Maddie. But it's good. It's good. I'm alive again. Whew. In a way, I'm so happy that... Whew. Dude, I'm like, okay, here it comes 2 more hours. Deep inside thinking, Tori, why? Why did you have to show up in this stream? Anyway, it's good that you did now. If I didn't solve it, I would hate you, but now I don't. I actually love you now. Alright, dude. Okay, so let's go to our beautiful task. So if the selection is already a link, show unlinked button, check. Style input and the button for inserting link, check. Find better link, unlink icon, check. So we did all that. Let's go to the actual platform here. Let's try to write some article. And I'm not even sure if I'm actually styling the link in the platform. No, I'm not, but here it is, right? What? So yeah, here's the link, and let's actually go to... Let's go to... I actually wonder... Give me like 3 hours. I'm just kidding. Give me a second. I believe that this is my mapping here. I don't actually remember. Yeah, no. So this is not the one that I need. This is... not yet, actually. Tori, dude, you're killing me, man. You're devastating me. You're devastating me, dude. Oh my god. You just killed me again. I died inside. I'm just kidding this time. No, it's a very good one. We actually have to do that. Let me write that down right away, and we're gonna do it because it has to be the blank target, right? Link should be a... actually, never mind. Actually, right, that's gonna be a simple one for us because this is mainly handled in a React component, right? So that's a very good question, but also pretty easy to solve, I think. Actually, yeah, let me shut up for a second. I think this is what we need. Okay, this is what we need, right? State to HTML. So this state to HTML is how my article renders, kinda. So let's kind of go npm docs and then go to this thing. Dude, great suggestions, great questions, I swear. Okay, so what is the anchor link? How do I style the... Where do they have the options? Dude, where do they have the options? Seriously. In italic bold. So let's kind of see the block type. Block dot type. Okay, that's quite strange though. Let's take a look. Let's go to our platform here. So block type is unstyled, and that's not very useful. How do I style an actual link? Or okay, I get it. I think what we have to do, basically, we cannot handle it here. I think we have to handle it in this entity style function. Just for those of you, just to give you the context what I'm doing. So when you work with a editor like JavaScript, right? When you work with any content editor out there, and you have to store the data to the database, you never store an HTML because that would be horrendous. It would be horrible. You would store some data structure that's horrible in general, that has you would have hard time searching for things, etc. And the worst possible thing is that you would save the styling and everything with it. So generally what you do, for example, with javascript here, we are storing the javascript content state. We're storing the actual kind of JavaScript object stringified as a string. Then we pull it back from the database as a string, we parse it back to JSON, we feed that thing to the content editor, to the javascript, but then we also parse that thing to HTML. And this kind of little library, state to HTML, does that. It takes the javascript JSON object, the state itself, and then it converts it to HTML. And here you define the rules for that conversion. So for example, if it's a header 2 that you're converting, add those classes to it. If it's an unordered list, you can see that I haven't yet covered those, right? And then over here, I think if I'm not mistaken, maybe we're gonna have and that's what I'm trying to find in their documentation. I'm trying to get how link. Let's check the issues. I don't get it. A link anchor. Okay. Okay, so here it is. Entity style function. Okay, great. So this is it, I think. This is... So entity style fn. All right, cool. So in here... So let's just kind of add anything just to... I think we're good there. I just want to like, no, let's just say text for Excel, just to see text for Excel, text red 500, just so we can see if this is actually happening. Yeah, it is. Hell yeah, great, right? And I think here we can add target blank as well, if I'm not mistaken. Let's actually see. That's what those guys were actually asking, right? Target option. Yeah, pretty much, right? Let's go over here. Yeah, okay, fine. I get it now. So we do have to pass those attributes, the actual URL. So that's great, okay. So we need this for it to be actual, but here, can I say target blank like this? Because I always wanted to open as blank target in a new window, basically. There we go, okay. So that's it, perfect. So you can see that it is blank now. And then it goes to google.com, right? So if we actually go, we remove this link and we add another one, www.microsoft.com, no, www.programmer.network. Yeah, it doesn't treat my domain even as a real domain. Amazing. Depressing. And yeah, okay. So it's basically missing a protocol, and that's why. So you can kind of see we'll have to cover those edge cases. But https microsoft.com, insert, save. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. All right, that works. Beautiful. Let's obviously, we're not gonna have that, so we're gonna pretty much have to, if I go to my anchor component here, we'll pretty much apply the same class. Target blank, and then it's complaining about yeah, exactly, the refer thing. And then this here, we're gonna basically do this, and I don't think it's gonna be text Excel, so let's actually let's go to that anchor component as well, and then just get rid of that. Good night, my friend. Thank you for coming as always, Sako. Highly appreciate it, man. Target new. Okay, I'm kind of old in a way to say, so blank for me exists my whole life. I didn't know there's a target new. Good point, man. Thank you. Let me actually see when that came. Target new. Using target new is technically invalid according to specifications, but as far as I know, every browser will behave the same way. It will search for a tab or window with the context name new. If a new tab window is found, then URL is loaded into it. If not found, a new tab window is created, la la la. Okay, interesting. Too long to read, use blank. The target attribute specifies where to open the linked document, target, whatever. So yeah, it seems that, yeah, same, man, same barcode. So it seems that that's why I didn't know about new, to be honest. I knew about self. Actually, I don't remember if I knew about top, maybe, but those three I used. Frame name, okay, I didn't even know. Since new is not any of these, it will come under frame name. So if a user re-clicks on that hyperlink, it will not open a new tab, instead update the existing tab. Whereas in blank, if user clicks twice, then 2 new tabs are opened, right? So that's kind of, but good to know. It just doesn't seem that, yeah. All right, great. So So our link is here, beautiful. I think we implemented pretty much everything that we wanted in the task, so let's kind of nuke it. Now, of course, lastly, what would be super cool to do is that you type some text and you press Ctrl and V. So you do this, you copy some link, and then you paste it, and then this becomes that link, right? I mean, I think... Yeah, I think you did, Akita. Let me kind of input you what I did, right? So first and foremost, last night, barcode helped me fix the issue. I just missed some property to a function. So in this stream, what I basically did, you can see that this icon is no longer clickable unless you have a selection. Once you have a selection, it does become interactive. Then you click it. We kind of added, just prettified this slightly a bit. Then if you add an actual valid URL and you insert the link, this becomes remove icon, right? So you can kind of remove the link, right? And then you insert a new one if you want, right? And then, yeah, lastly, we just parse that because I wasn't kind of dealing with links in my editor, and we use that block style function now. Yeah, I think we're back. Are we back? I think we're back, right? Yep. Welcome back, king of programming. Yeah, thank you. I don't know. I don't know what was it. I think I mean my Streamlabs was active the whole time, so it's either Twitch or something else. But whatever. Okay, so we kind of did this. We kind of solved this, I think. The only thing, as I was saying now, what I would really like, and I'm not trying to overkill this, I want this editor to be as cool as possible. It would be cool to register some key bindings. So when you, for example, have something copied to the clipboard and you select this and paste, that this becomes a link. I mean, this is how I think Discord and Slack and stuff, what they have. You know what? Let's not do that now. I'm gonna create a maybe another task for that. So let me kind of grab this. Let's mark this as done, and then we're gonna add this with a super low priority, right? So we're gonna say super low. Insert the link by pasting the URL to draft.js selection, right? So it would be a nice thing, right? Because it's convenient, right? Like, I mean, let's face it, right? You have to do this, you have to select it, you have to click here, you have to type in URL, this is freaking tedious, right? It's too much. It's way easier if you can just come here, type text, select selection, Control V, done, right? So I mean, when I kind of put it that way, it's kind of evident and clear that that's what we need to do, right? So that's great. That's great. Okay, good. Let's kind of now proceed with something. Storybook is amazing, man. So Storybook in a nutshell, because like there's literally like guides and videos in Storybook, and I can explain Storybook in like 2 minutes, in 30 seconds. Storybook is basically like just isolated environment for your components, right? And as you can see, basically you lay them out here, you kind of break them down however you want. You can see like I didn't really put all of the components we have here, but it's super easy to develop specific features. And I mean, the most useful part about any environment like this is that you can isolate yourself from all the side effects in your app and build and focus on very particular elements. So that is, I mean, for many years I've been using things like Code Sandbox, Stack Blitz, you know, JSBin, REPL IT, a bunch of those things, and I would isolate. So I was kind of, in a way, honestly, if I think about Storybook as a concept, I have a feeling that I was using Storybook for my whole life, if you get what I mean. Because I would always isolate myself for years, for more than a decade. If I'm building a feature that I don't really need coupled with everything else, and in most cases you don't, this is a perfect environment. Look at this. I mean, when you look at just at the buttons, right, you have all of the states handled here. For example, button is a great example because it illustrates it the best, right? This is like a spinning button, disabled button, like error button, right? And you can see kind of how easy it is to also fiddle with things like barcode. Like I'm using Tailwind CSS, right? And it's so easy to build UI and stuff with it that I don't really need. I mean, I think maybe a month or two ago, I believe you've been here in the stream when I spoke about those kind of pre-built libraries like Bootstrap and Mui and whatever. There's millions of them. And I think if you remember, I don't remember if it was you or someone else, but I remember we had a nice discussion, and I said the biggest downside of a lot of those libraries is that once you reach a point into needing to make your product feel unique in a way, then you start battling those libraries because they're not meant. For example, at work, when I joined the Dream Data, this company where I work now, we use this thing, Blueprint.js. And I almost now entirely, after a year at the company, removed it because the company reached a point where it needed to look and feel like its own product. Biggest problem with this, for example, library, is that it uses like every single component has like, I don't know, 15 levels of nested HTML and stuff. And it's very hard to customize it. You just can't. You literally have to use important. You have to. So with Tailwind CSS, really, it's piece of cake, right? So exactly. So there's several reasons. 100%. The Kita that you just laid out is 100% true. It looks very generic, but that's not even a problem because looking generic for some time is really it's fine. It's completely okay. But the biggest problem is I spoke about this I think again a couple of streams ago, is that once your company decides to actually move away from that and say in rare circumstances, you know, people ever say make a strategy like, hey, let's get rid of this now and then let's, you know, border radius 0. I mean, how many times I had to do those resets and stuff, it's ridiculous, right? I mean, if you look at my button, right? If you look at the button here, the programmer network, right? I mean, it's literally a button. Look at this. It's literally the simplest possible component as it should be. And then based on a variant that I pass, it applies some class names, right? So there's no shitty styled components or whatever, inline CSSs and it's literally the most simplest HTML component when you think about it, with some minimal logic. And I mean, I'm a massive fan of composition, right? What do you think about the Radix? Actually, let me check. I need to tell you if I heard about it or not. Once I see it, I'm gonna tell you. No, I never seen this. It looks amazing. I mean, I love the website, I can tell you already. This is kind of my type of style. So super cool. Super cool, and wow, I actually love the super cool looking website, man. Thank you for sharing. I've never seen this or heard about this before. No, big no. So this is, you see, let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. It's a quite interesting anecdote or a story, right? So when I joined Dream Data, this company now that I work for, in the interview they asked me, hey, what do you use style components, right? And I said no. And then I asked the counter question, do you and why? And one of the most ironic questions out there in this JavaScript community, the web community, is that in a lot of circumstances people are unable to justify something. So when I ask people, why do you use style components, nobody seems to be able to give me a concrete answer of what is it actually solving, right? It's like, okay, you're using style components, you're writing, you know, your CSS in JavaScript, why, right? This is, I had so many of those discussions, and not in a single discussion people were able to justify why is it easier or better, or what does it provide over, for instance, this, right? And that's why, for example, when I see this sort of stuff, are we back? I hope we're back. No, we're not back yet. Oh, we should be back now. Yeah. I think we're back, right? I don't know. I honestly think it's Twitch. I see nothing else here happening wrong on my end. I just feel it's something with the Twitch, or maybe, I don't know. I never experienced this before actually in a stream, so I have no idea what's going on. Quite strange actually. But I don't know. Yeah, but the Tory, like, oh my god, so this explains it. It's complex who joined. Good to know, man. Good to know. So did my stream literally like stop multiple times? It seems that it did. Jesus Christ, man. Come on. Unreal. Okay, let me shut my phone down. It's how do I close this? It's so hard to close Twitch and phone. It's not ridiculous. Okay. You literally broke, but by showing up. So that's. But this looks amazing. Tory, and for example, accessibility is one of the tasks that still remain to be fully implemented for the network as well. And if this comes with some accessibility and stuff, that's great. But I only get chills when I see this stuff. I hate this CSS and JS and stuff. It's not that I hate it. That's a very hard word. That would imply that I care about it. Guten Abend, Hanulak. Good evening, man. It just means that I don't know what it solves. That's my only problem. Dude, it stopped like 2 times. It stopped like 2 times already. So it's kind of, I don't know what the hell is going on. Okay, so let's kind of now, so let me actually do one thing now, right? So let's do something a bit different. Oh, you can still, so you don't have to use it. That's a different thing. That's good. That's pretty solid then. If you don't, if they're not if their whole API isn't written in style components, then it seemed like a beautiful thing, honestly. Again, I don't know if you your platform got real, exactly. I don't know, like, I'm Tory, like, I don't know how long have you been doing this, how many years or whatever, but either way, it doesn't matter. I can tell you that at one point in time you'll just maybe okay, maybe I'm just talking through my own experience, so sorry if I am, but I just don't use those tools anymore like that, right? Who is together, Hanulak? Oh, nice, man. 1 year. So it seems. Shit, man. That's a good one. You got me there. You got me there. You got me there, dude. I would have expected that from Complex, but you kind of nailed it, so it's great. Okay, let me shut up for a second. So, oh yeah, so let's go to, so what I wanted to solve kind of here is this view, right? But what I actually want to do is solve it on mobile, right? So if I go to mobile view, right, and increase this to 150%, you can kind of see that it's not quite great, right? So let's kind of do this. So there are a few things I want to do here. One is I want to hide this text. So let's kind of just change here a bit. So if I go to views and tag, that's not gonna do much. Okay, and then what I want to do in mobile, I want to, yeah, we're gonna I actually handle, like, I've heard about channel points. I don't know what they are. I just haven't had the time to devote to Twitch and all of there's, it's like just too many things. I just wish that all of this crap is just enabled by default, and that increases engagement and stuff. That would be great, right? I mean, I invested 0 time and into Twitch at all. I just started a stream, I click start. I didn't share my stream with anybody. I didn't share it with the other Discords, whatever, right? So, and mainly because I don't have the time for that. So if you guys ever feel like you'll enjoy this stream and you want to share it with someone, please be my guest. And channel points, I think I read about it once or twice, and I thought that it's enabled already. I think it's this button here. I think it's this thing here, right? Introducing channel points. Watch programmer network, earth channel points. Let's see what the hell this is. What the fuck? So what? Watch to win. Okay, but so what? Like, isn't this enabled now? What is this? Channel points. What am I supposed to do? Shit, man. How to earn? Oh, wait a minute. So okay, so if you guys think it's kind of useful to have this, I will devote time tomorrow to it. But some suggestion. Oh my fuck! No, I'm not doing any push-ups, man. I'll give you money back not to do them. Quite contrary, actually. But if you guys have any ideas how to kind of I mean, dude, like you have no idea. I mean, I built this whole thing with MongoDB, and then 1 week, I think Complex was here. 1 week, like a month or 2 ago, I just came and said, let's just rewrite everything in Postgres. So don't trigger me, man. Don't trigger me. I'm not far from doing that. I'm not far from doing that. Exactly, exactly. All right, I'll what the, what, dude, seriously, what the hell is this? Like, make me drink water. I mean, you don't have to make me do that. I'm gonna do that myself, but got it. Okay, so in simple words, it seems that I have to just sit and take a look at it. I got it. Okay, yeah. Okay, so you basically want to control me. You want to be the master of puppets. Shit. We should play that now. I should play it for you guys now. Man, dude. Tomorrow I'm gonna sit, I'm gonna set up my guitar with OBS, and I'm gonna play for you guys. Actually, shit, man. I wish that it was okay, right, Complex. So tomorrow we're gonna play some metal on the stream. Fuck, I wish that I have it set up now. Jesus Christ. Let's try now. How do I turn off the music? Wait a minute. But it's not plugged in now, so I don't know if you're gonna hear it. Give me 5 seconds. But tomorrow we have to kind of set it up. Sounds so ridiculous. Oh, it's not tuned. What's the name? The name of the song is Tears in the Rain, Joe Satriani. But yeah, the guitar is not really... Master of Puppets. Tears in Heaven. I have to play it a bit different, so I'm probably gonna get this part of video is gonna get muted most likely. You cannot hear me sing now because my kid and wife are sleeping, but very gladly some other day. Good night, Tori. See you tomorrow, man. Good to have you here. Okay, enough. I'm actually gonna set it up tomorrow, you know, with the actual amp and stuff. And then yeah, so we do it tomorrow. I promise. I can't wait to stop the stream later on and then see if actually so you could hear it on the microphone, right? Because I'm not sure the microphone isn't set up for a guitar, especially not an electric guitar. So could you actually hear anything? I guess you could, right? Okay. Now I hope you guys are not trolling me, but I should maybe start playing music on this stream. Okay, couldn't hear anything. Great, amazing. Okay, going back to thing that I'm less talented at. Okay, so let's kind of, what is the time? Okay, it's half past. It's fine. So great viewing. Okay, fair enough. So let's kind of fiddle with this a bit, and then I just want to do a bit more today, and then so let's see here. So what do we have here? We have MD do. Okay, so let's go over here, and then tag name. So over here, right? I did you work with nodejs. Yes. I did do that, Hanulak. Yeah. It's quite a clever technology. I can tell. Oh, that's quite strange. Okay. What the hell happened there with the color? Did I remove something? Did I by accident like nuke something or whatever? No, I didn't. Okay, that's quite strange actually. Maybe I did it here. No. Nah. Okay, that's quite a Fastify.js always easy choice. Fastify is the best thing that happened to Node.js community in a long time. Primarily because it actually is something opinionated finally. Because the thing is, right, you cannot, for example, if you take a look at Golang as an example, right? Sure, great question. If you take a look at Go, for example, as a programming language as a whole, it's very opinionated in things that is relatively easy for people to agree on, like formatting and stuff, and many other things. But it's when you read Go. When you read Go, you feel like you wrote it. It feels always almost the same. When you write Express.js, for example, it's so kind of unopinionated that this person uses this logging library, this person that uses this middleware, this person does this that way, etc., etc. And that's not good for the community, because we want to constrain ourselves with the tools. So when we onboard people, when we expand our teams, when we do things, we have a specific way of doing them. And that's where Fastify is great. Fastify comes in with logging, for example, as a first-class citizen to say, so they worked a lot on implementing very efficient logging. They come with AJV, with like JSON schema, which is also opinionated, but great way to validate. It comes with the plugin, it comes with like, it comes with Jesus Christ, man, my brain. Swagger, for example. I don't know if you saw my API. The programmer network is written in actual Fastify, right? And if I, for example, go to README, right? You know, I have pretty much Swagger spec for free, right? Which is I get Swagger kind of for free. I get it as a side effect of AJV, of JSON schema, right? Because all of my endpoints, all of my requests, responses, schemas, and validation are done as first-class citizen through JSON schema. Swagger also comes as a first-class citizen in a way, effortlessly. You do absolutely nothing. You get it for free. because you have to define all of your endpoints declaratively through JSON schemas. So this sort of stuff you get for free, which is amazing. So for example, if one of you guys would now start working on this project with me, you wouldn't have to go and figure out yourselves what some endpoint does. You open Swagger spec and you see all the available endpoints. You see what's happening. Okay, next, plugin system, easy to build microservices, error handling completely removed almost from the equation, unless Express, where you have to do try catch nearly at every single place. So there's many more you have the plugin system, you have hooks, you have request and response hooks, so you can hook into any specific at many specific times in a life cycle of a request and response. You can hook and do something at that stage. For example, if I go to Fastify, right, and if we go to the documentation, and if we go to life cycle here, right, you can see that at any given time of, for example, this request life cycle, you can use any of those hooks. You can do it. So this is where the logging happens natively. On request hook, pre-parsing hook, parsing hook, pre-validation hook, validation hook. So you have all of this built into the language itself, to say, or a framework, right? And it's really amazing. Testing is effortless as well. There's really no setup. It comes with the testing tools, everything you need. You don't need to install. So everything that I'm saying now is opposite, for example, in Express. Everything, almost. You get nothing with Express. You get the Express object, of course, you get some of the things that were decoupled from Express many years ago. You get like the body parser, you can install it and stuff like this, but none of this you need to do with here, right? So it has a level of opinions. It's opinionated just enough, not too much, but it's opinionated in the things that, in my opinion, in Express and most other, in Express, in Happy.js as well, in a way, almost, in Sales.js, in many of those things you have to do all of it. And the thing is, that's exactly the point. A solid, well-tested, well-taught framework, in my opinion, in 2022 should come with those things. I find it ridiculous that in 2022 you have to be thinking about logging and, right, if you're building a bloody framework, man, just build some of the core things in it, because everybody needs logging, everybody needs error handling, everybody needs to hook, everybody needs access to this life cycle at one point, so you can do, you can do like return 401s. You're not, everybody need to parse the requests. Like there's nearly no API today that doesn't use JSON anymore. Like when do you get the request, from the front end, and it's like, okay, let me treat this as text. Like never, almost, right? So the thing is, it's ridiculous that you have to be fiddling and installing body parsers and stuff like that. That's just ridiculous, because we almost exclusively today work with JSON. When it comes to front-facing APIs, it's always some sort of JSON. Even when you use GraphQL, in a way, you get the JSON back, right? So I think, and I can go on and on about plugin system and all of that stuff. You can their documentation is fantastic. When I started this project with Fastify, the TypeScript support was very poor, which is why I haven't used it. Today, their TypeScript is also kind of first-class citizen as well. You can effortlessly also start the project in TypeScript and they have all the type stuff. So there's a lot of stuff, right? And most of all, people who are behind this project, I kind of respect them for their skills. They're very good. I know them because they've been part of Node.js committee for many years. They've been kind of building Node.js, and they still contribute to Node.js, right? So those guys know what they're doing. they're not developers like us, to say, if I can say it this way. I'm not implying that any of us is necessarily bad, but those are the guys who actually build tools, right? So they have slightly more understanding of lower level APIs and stuff than us, because most of us here, if I can assume, we are product facing developers. We use those types of tools to build products. And those guys that we're talking about, they spend their whole day, every day building tools, right? So anyway, I try it out. I mean, you're not gonna regret it. I don't think I'll ever, when it comes to, if I have to use Node.js, I don't even think about it anymore. This is my go-to, right? Like instantly, right? Now, one thing that I cannot tell you, and that I would lie if I would tell you that, is that I haven't used this ever on a large scale project. So we'll see how it handles things. If we are to trust those guys, benchmarks are quite insane. Actually, it beats everything by a large margin. So this is Fastify. So you can see Fastify serves around 30,000 requests a second, Express 7,500, Rastify happy, right? So you can see that it's quite, yeah. Kind of like I used to work at Thinkful for around 5 years. I used to work as a mentor. Let me show you on my LinkedIn. And I missed that dearly. My character, I love to kind of, I love, not mentoring, I just love, exactly, I think you use the word passion. I love the passion part. Like, I'm very passionate about those things, and that's why I kind of sit here at 1 a.m. talking to you guys, because I just enjoy it. But you can see I worked as a mentor here at Thinkful for around 5 years. Yeah, of course, that's why I share. Please, everybody, we should add each other. But this is where I used to work, kind of, you know, aside my full-time job, I would mentor. Oh my God, this is my student, Ben. This guy is my student. I'm so proud now. Jesus Christ, this is my student. Yeah. So this is Ben. Shit, I'm so proud now. Yeah, I do. This is my student, man. So this guy was one of the most talented students I had. His name is Ben, and he's a bass player, and I mentored him for 6 months, and he's probably better than me today. He's like super talented guy, like just this purely natural guy. Like dude, I'm so freaking happy to see this. I mean, seeing my own student kind of on the front page, that's pretty cool. Actually, you know, let me just screenshot this to him. I'm gonna just reach out to him right away. I'm just gonna reach out to him right away because I'm super proud now. Ben. Let me just reach out to him. Give me 1 second. So proud. All right, I just had to do it right away because I'm so happy to see him there. Did some of you kind of add me now? Really? I don't think why not? Seriously, are you serious? Oh, nice, accept, because I have shit tons of people adding me and I don't accept those generally. Okay, great. What the hell? Why? I mean, why am I building a community? I want you guys, I want us to know each other. Why would I not share my real name? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, Nice. Oh, well, I accepted you both, guys. Anyway, so happy to see my student being there. It's quite cool, actually. Going back to this before we actually round up, I guess, is that you can see kind of if we are to trust arbitrary kind of in a way, most of those benchmarks kind of are very minimal. You can see that Fastify actually serves around 30,000 requests a second. Dude, like, again, being a good mentor, man, is all about empathy, right? When I worked at Thinkful, right, I think I was rated around top 3 mentors out of 850. And when I kind of read all the comments of all the, I had around 160 something students in a period of 5 years, I realized that most of the positives were not just strictly related to explaining technical concepts, but I was really a friend with every single of those students. I was literally, we became friends. Like, for example, Matt, I don't know, Matt, if you're there now, but Matt was my student and we became friends. Like, so it's mentoring is really not just about the raw knowledge. It's about really like understanding just being a human being, right? And yeah, exactly, Hanulak. Yeah. This is the company I resigned before I joined here. Mostly harmless. Yeah. That was a fun company for sure. Yeah, man, it's the time goes on so fast, dude. I started working professionally in this industry in 2009, and now it's 2020. What, 22, right? It's insane, dude. It's insane how time goes by. Just crazy, man. Just crazy. Well, I mean, my first job isn't on this list. I had some other jobs as well, but they're not really listed there. My first job, I worked in a guitar store when I was like, I think that was in 2008. So in 2008, I finished my high school, I believe, and I couldn't go to the college initially because I was kind of broke and my parents couldn't pay for it. And I wasn't really that great of a student in high school and gymnasium. So I didn't have like those top best grades to kind of get into public free school. I had to pay for private. So I started working in a guitar store and I worked there for a couple of months. And then since I was too clever in a way, they moved me to the top floor there to work in a project bureau to draw kind of, how would I say, to draw to draw in AutoCAD. So I learned AutoCAD in like 2 days and I started drawing like things for like you measure the land and somebody wants to build a house, and I did that a bit. And then a year later, in 2009, I started working as a kind of network administrator because I was pretty talented in computer networks. I was interested in like just computer networks in general. And then alongside that, I just supported our customers by building them websites and stuff like that, and plain HTML and CSS and JS and jQuery back then, and also WordPress and stuff like that, right? And then I don't know, man. Then I had my own kind of project called Hyper Studio, and I was trying to kind of do consulting a bit and stuff. So I don't know, man. A lot of stuff, right? I was always kind of doing something, right? But I back then I haven't established a concept of money well enough. I kind of didn't give a crap. I wasn't married, I was dating my wife back then. I didn't need money. I lived with my parents. So in a way, I was just doing whatever I wanted. I didn't have any constraint. Like today I have a kid and wife and like, I don't know, 2,200 euros rent and stuff like that. So, things just very, very fast change. It's you just have to do things. It's not anymore a matter if I want to do it, right? But but more or less that LinkedIn illustrates what I did. But there's a bunch of stuff that's not there, right? Well, it must be very long ago, I guess. I mean, so if I was working kind of, let's say, professionally since 2009, right, or something, I think it was long ago, right? I think when I was really, really young, right, I got interested into. I remember playing with Visual Basic 6 with and then with PHP 3, I believe, and then with some actually assembly programming. I actually did some assembly programming on Motorola 6000. It was like it was like 8-bit CPU. And then I did, then I did what was the, oh, good evening, all purple. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have a lot of people in my family, like who are mechanical engineers and stuff in the U.S. They live in the U.S. and they're all kind of CAD. But my uncle, for example, he uses CAD for like 20-something years now and stuff. So it's kind of almost, in a way, I don't know. I don't know. I think that I have a lot of people in my family who are kind of working in tech and stuff, and again, all of them live in the U.S. and I don't know. We always were kind of, most of my family always did something technical like that, right? So CAD for me was super fun. It's not that I'm by no means any good at geometry or understanding too many of those things, but for some reason I just figured it out. It's like I just figured some stuff out and stuff like that, right? But it's, I don't know, maybe that's what I miss today the most. It's kind of job, today became very generic in a way. Like I feel that I wish that I can try something completely new, but not gonna happen, I guess, anytime soon. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, I did a lot of kind of horrible jobs as well, like at times I would clean snow, during the winter, when in my small town where I originate from, sometimes during the winter the snow would be like super, super big, and then they don't have enough of employees, in a public sector when during those extreme circumstances. So, I would go there and apply, and, they would give me like 20 euros a day or something like that. And then I would clean snow, right? So, I mean, I never really kind of classify jobs in any way. I mean, I wanted to make money when I was young, so I would just do whatever there was, right? I did a lot of stuff. It's just now coming back. Nobody actually ever asked me this question, or for a long time. But in a nutshell, I mean, it's like the worst thing is not doing anything. That's kind of the saddest part. If you just sit home and do nothing. So did a lot of stuff, man, and it actually gives you a good perspective to be happy, right? Like I don't take this job as granted, right? Like everything I own in my life past decade has been really provided by this job. I bought my own apartment with my wife. We paid it off already, actually. I mean everything, right? So to be able to do that at this age, it's unimaginable for any previous generations, right? It's insane, right? It's unreasonably insane. So, but it's also good on top of that to do some more horrible jobs, and then you kind of, because I don't know, I mean, I speak a lot in this stream about things non-related strictly to code, but you can see that a lot of us are complaining about, oh, this boss, this manager, this. Thank you very much for the follow, Crook. This manager, this, he told me this, like, but you really, in order to have a proper perspective of being grateful, you need to kind of put yourself in a more horrible position. All purple smoke, thank you so much for subscribing, man. Highly appreciate it. You need to put yourself in a shittier position, even explicitly, willingly, in order to then kind of truly can cherish. That's why, for example, I don't know, it's 1 a.m. I don't know, at least this is, most genuinely, I'm just who I am. I speak always out of my heart, and even doing this stream is like, my wife sometimes asks me, it's like, dude, how, I'm shocked, how can you be so passionate in this and like working whole day and stuff? And it's like, it's really about perspective, right? And I don't know, I just feel that when it comes to jobs, man, like, there you go, man. There you go. I swear to God, I would accept that. Actually, when I worked as a network administrator when I was younger, like a decade ago, shit, did my stream die again? Did my stream? No, okay. when I worked as a network, as a Cisco engineer, right? I'm gonna answer that question, Hanulak, in a second, but I just want to say, like, I miss a bit of dynamicity with my job. When I was a network administrator, I had to go a lot to terrain. I had to go, for example, to some physical location, water towers, solitaries, because some of the, for example, wireless equipment would get bricked. So I would have to go climb those buildings, open up the actual hardware, reset it manually, because, for example, Watchdog or some mechanism would fail. And I miss that in a way because it was more dynamic. Now I'm just sitting all day long, right? Before, you know, it was you program some hardware equipment, some routers or switches or whatever, and then you take it somewhere, right? So kind of when you say I do electric by day and develop at night, I kind of envy that a bit because you kind of have both of the worlds, right? I don't kind of like I don't think it's primarily man traits, and I have to be careful about even talking about those things today because radical people like to use words to kind of abuse you or to you know bully you, but I do think that there is slight differences in perception of things, and I think that on most primitive level, so let's not talk about socially constructed things, whatever. I think on most primitive level of humankind, I think that most men are kind of feel genetically inside of them, and most women as well, just in a different way. I think most people have this primitive feeling of protection of their family and stuff. So, for example, for me, indeed, my family is the absolute priority, and I feel consciously and unconsciously that no matter what I do, I must do it. So it's not. So this is just how I'm wired, right? I'm by no means, for example, saying that my wife has it any different, but it is different in some circumstance, right? We are just kind of more raw, right? 100%. I mean, but you see, I think we live in a kind of shitty world, right? Where we, instead of trying to find agreements and understand how we function on a most natural level, we're trying to break from each other. There's nothing wrong, for example, with statement that you said. It's completely fine to be more into people. Like my wife, for example, she's certainly way better with people in many circumstances than I am. That's not to say that every woman or man is like that, but I think in a way, for sure, I mean, I'm way more interested into things than people, right? And if I just talk about women from my life, my mom, my wife, my cousin and stuff, whatever, they're all way more into people. So if I just observe, I don't want to take anyone else as an example, that would be stupid, but if I take people around me, people who are honest with me, people that I live with, I mean, I speak to my wife about those things and stuff, right? She acknowledges that without even needing to discuss it or think about it. It's just logical for her because she kind of doesn't take that in any offensive way. It's completely fine to be into something, right? I have obviously male friends as well who are also more into social stuff than, but I think on the most primitive level, with, you know, forgetting everything that we know about psychology and social sciences and stuff, for sure, man. I think that men are definitely more into just things, and this isn't my opinion in a way. There's a lot of literature that also supports this, but I feel that for whatever reason we are trying to break apart from each other, and that doesn't make sense. I mean, to me, it's always kind of coming to some conclusion so we can function better. And I've been with my wife for 14 years now, almost. So, and I'm 33. So I think that I probably have some grounds to stand on when I say this, right? It's just like, yeah, it's very sensitive times that we live in, and saying anything today can be used against you. So let me just stick to programming, but for sure, man, for sure. The kid, I think that we live in the times where people are gonna find anything to get triggered by. I think that I don't know what happened with us as human being, as people, but I think we have created this sense of offensiveness, and literally you have people who are craving to get offended, and I'm not that person, man. Like, I feel that the solution to anything in life is to talk about it, because, you know, uh, in order to solve things, you have to risk to be offensive, right? Like you cannot solve things without talking about them. And some of the things that people talk about might appear offensive to somebody, but if we just talk about things which everybody is just fine with, then we're never gonna solve anything. It's kind of almost paradox, right? It doesn't make any sense, right? I don't know. It's just my take to it. But luckily, yeah, I mean, the thing is, again, it's look, I originate from Southern Europe, from Balkans, right? And I've been living in Scandinavia for 10 years now. So trust me when I tell you, when you talk to me, I can tell you perspectives of two different worlds, right? South or East and the West. And I can tell you with certainty, right, that here in the West, people are definitely more I wouldn't say spoiled. That would be very rude to say, and I genuinely don't mean that. But I think that perception of life sometimes, you know, if your biggest problem in life is if somebody calls you he or she or it or that, then you're already privileged beyond comprehension. Because where I come from originally, you know, we went through wars in the 19s and stuff. You know, I lived through times in my life where we didn't have food to eat for weeks. So you would eat fat from the bucket, you would drink water, right? So I've lived through a lot of those different types of things that gives me the perception of what's truly hard, right? When you create those artificial problems, you create them because people are simply bored of life. I think that a human being cannot live without problems. And then we have to invent them. If we don't truly have them, we have to invent them. So if truly someone's problem is, you know, some of those arbitrary things, then I feel very happy for them because they don't know what the real problems are. Problems of existential problems that billions of people around the world have. And of course, I'm not suggesting that people should look at kids in Africa because they're hungry. And well, good night, Barcode. Thank you very much, man, for being around. So I feel that it's all about perception, and I feel that we are kind of oftentimes losing this perception easily because we think every human being on the planet, I guess, has this perception that their problems are the biggest problems in the world. Hence, why we can't disagree and why we feel this or that is because you're just constantly, yeah, about anything. Yeah, people get triggered about anything, right? Because it's just ego. It's egoism, right? You're never wrong, no matter what happens, right? You're never wrong, right? So in a way, and this type of mentality where we, you know, like you have to be wrong sometimes as well. Nobody likes people who are right all the time. Nobody, even if you are right sometimes, it's good not to be right, right? Because you cannot be right all the time. It doesn't make sense because people don't, right? So it's egoism in a way, right? Because, you know, also knowing when to admit that you're wrong and stuff, it takes guts for that, right? And you have to learn that. Somebody has to teach you this. And if you get spoiled, it just marks you forever, right? And then sooner or later, you're going to hit the wall. You're going to reach a point where you're not going to be able to be right all the time. And then you're going to get depressed and stuff. You're going to be like, what the hell is going on? I mean, it's the same when people, for example, give themselves 300% on their job. They do things that nobody asked them to do. Then they get fired or they quit, and then nothing really happens. They realize that, I mean, what the hell is going on? Why nobody cares? It's like, because, man, you have created those artificial expectations and perception of things that simply doesn't exist. Like, why are you doing that? It's like, right? So it's so many subjects. Like, really, it's like a lot of things to discuss. But overall, I think perception is everything, right? Like, and then having experience to create a perception on life that can help you. That's why I say I think it's oftentimes it's good to live through something shitty, and you're literally I'm looking and I'm like, okay, he is literally talking to himself. I love that. It's amazing. Okay. Just spoke to myself a bit as well there. Lovely. Okay. I think we're back. I don't know what's happening with Twitch. I'm pretty sure. Let me actually do one thing while I see this. Let me just. Oh, okay. What what the hell is going on? Oh, okay. So I can see this. No sound. What? What? Really? There's no sound? I think Twitch is having issues for sure. I'm pretty sure it's not about me. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? What the hell? Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? 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 You can't hear me, right? Nah, doesn't seem good. Doesn't seem good, right? Hello? 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 Hello?